Kayan here, and I want to share with you the Hobonichi journals, planners that I'm taking into 2025 with me. I have used all of these before in various ways, but a little bit new combination this year. One thing that's remaining the same is the 5-year journal that I began in 2022. I will say that I did really good the first couple years in the first part of 2024, but I am missing some time in 2024. I don't know if I'll go back and get that caught up or not, but I am planning on continuing in 2025. I think this is a really nice thing, and it'll be a real treasure when it's done. And it's already fun to go back and look, at things a couple years ago. So I will be continuing on with that. This is just a little cover that I picked up somewhere that just happened to fit, and it's starting to get a little chunky in here, and but still very manageable. So looking forward to continuing with that. I also will be continuing to use the weeks, this is a new one. This was the same book. This is a new one, but going forward into 2025, I've been using the Weeks Mega as my main scheduling planner for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, and I've already been using the weekly pages. The weekly section of it starts in December, so I've already been using it for the month of December, and I'm continuing the same kind of general layout as I had in 2024, where I have, in 2023 for that matter, but I put appointments kind of on this column, my to-do list on this column, like the top to-dos. Over here in this column, I put like things I'm tracking or some menu planning, and this kind of changes up. Like this week I obviously didn't do anything there, so that changes from time to time. Over here I have starting in 2024, I believe, was the first year I did that, but I've continued that on because it's worked well for me. But I've color-coded different kind of categories of life, spiritual, relational, health, kind of household, and work into these sections, just to kind of make sure I'm balancing things out and having something, in each section. And so I've kind of continued that on. Here's the week that's coming up. And so I have that. This is my kind of master scheduler, is the month section here, and this is where I, schedule things. I really like that it goes a little bit into the next year so that I can kind of schedule ahead. And again, use some of that color coding on these as well. And then the other section that I make a lot of use of is the notes pages, which is in the back. Kind of I always get the mega, so I have plenty of note pages. And like I said, I've already, used some of these in December. I'll kind of glue in some schedules, different things that I need to keep track of, go back here. And that's pretty much how I use that. No significant changes happening this year in my use of the Hobonichi Weeks. I have it in this Asian vintage cover. I'll probably still continue with that. It's got some pockets in it. This is the one that goes with me wherever I go, so that I have my schedule with me. And then I have these 2 workhorses, which are 2 main categories in my life. These are both the Hobonichi cousin, and I have the personal one, which I've gone to trying to have everything in one book, personal wise. So this one is my planning. This sometimes gets used, sometimes doesn't. We'll see what happens this year. But that's okay with me if these couple spreads don't get used. The monthly section in this, since it's not for scheduling because I use my weeks for scheduling, is more like gratitude, or I might put a photo in there, or stickers, or just kind of like appreciating life, I guess, is kind of the theme of that. And that's the month section. And then in the weekly section, which I haven't started in yet, but I can show you. Last year I went to the Han, so that I ended up with one book at the end of the year instead of, I had previously used the Avec. And I also went to, in 2024, doing my memory keeping on a weekly basis instead of daily, and it just made it a little more manageable for me at this point in my life. And I still get, you know, everything down. I also had the 5-year journal to write daily entries, but this is just kind of like overview of the week, and I really like how it looks, and it solves that memory keeping desire, but on a more manageable level. So I plan to continue that into this year. This was the Han, and I did get the cousin this year, but it's basically laid out the same. So the weekly pages will be memory keeping, and then the daily pages, which I added month tabs here, but the daily pages I will continue to use. I think of it as kind of a commonplace book, so it's like whatever I need it to be. It might be journaling, it might be note-taking, goal setting, just different things. It might be a response to a book I read, just whatever I need that to be. I am a firm believer in the value of morning pages, as Julia Cameron describes in The Artist's Way, and morning devotion time, so sometimes it will be that. So just kind of whatever I need it to be day by day. And then all of that will be kept in one book, so I'll have one volume to put on my shelf at the end of the year. And as much as I like doing the Avecs and that it doesn't get as bulky, I do at the end of the year really enjoy having it all contained in one book. So that would be nice to put on the shelf and at the end of the year. If you want to see me decorating the cover, I did it pretty simple this time. And if you want to see that, I have a Patreon video on that for all levels, including the free levels can see that. And then this one is the one I have probably been in the longest or the most so far, and that's my work planner, because I plan things far ahead so you can kind of see how that goes. I did get this I used an old cover and just made my own new insert in it. This one I did get a new cover. I love how this looks like little sketchbook entries. I don't know what these characters are. I'm not familiar with it, but I did like the look of sketchbook, and I thought that was appropriate for work planner. I have the little pockets to stick stuff in. There's also the back pocket in these, which I usually put some things in. I don't think I have yet. These pages usually end up with some stuff stuck in that I need to refer back to. Maybe some inspirational words. Last year in 2024, maybe the last couple years, I have used for my work journal has been a A5 size day free, and I realized that I kind of want the days, and again want the full year in one book. So I'll have a book for my personal and a book for my work things. So just kind of going through how I use this. These pages in both my personal and this. In my personal, I have personal dates. Like I will put birthdays and things like that and dates to set aside. I haven't done that yet. That'll be part of my prepping that I'll do here pretty soon. And so that's what that will be here, which is just little dots on the dates. For my work journal, it's slightly different in that I do mark, these little orange marks are like personal events that I need to not schedule anything on, so that to schedule around, to leave open. I don't mark birthdays and all that stuff, only things that, you know, are a scheduled thing that I need to watch out for. I'll probably end up sticking something over this because I don't need the past dates, but I will need the 2026 ones as I schedule ahead, so I'm glad to have that. The index pages I do make use of, and as you can see I have already started to, as I have things I need to refer back to. So not everything on the daily pages is just about that day or just a to-do list. Sometimes it's information about like planning for a workshop or projects, various projects I'm doing or things like that that I need to refer back to. So this is just an easy index to see where those are at when I need to find something and refer back to it. On the monthly pages in my work planner, I keep track of videos, do some planning. The videos will go on a little sticky note like this initially, because then I can move them around and change schedule. Like if I decide to do this one on a different day, I can move it to a different day. Once I am done, like maybe a month or so worth at a time, I will print out these little the thumbnails for videos. Just gives me easy reference if I'm going to look for those. I also put down workshops, or again like personal things to block out that time and things like that on here. Workshop schedules, things like that. So here you can see I have all these little sticky notes that can be moved around. So that's how I use the monthly pages. The weekly pages then will just be lists that I make, like to-do lists or supply list or various things like that. And then we have the year overview, and that is like I made like a vision board, or like my goals for the year, or just not specific ones, just more general ones. And I will do that also in my personal one, but I have not done that yet. And then I have the daily pages. Each month will have a sheet with goals for the month, things I need to get done, or to-do lists for the month. I also have a couple pages where I plan my Patreon and what they'll be getting. I plan videos. I have open studio times, plan those, plan some projects, and have my workshops. These tabs are workshops because I plan those. I plan those months ahead. I have my monthly tabs on there. So the daily things are not necessarily things of that day. They might be, but also may not be. And then I have, you know, these tabs stuck in for workshops and planning there. Let's see, then I'll skip. So that's the daily pages. There's just only a few note pages at the back, so I don't usually make plan for those. But again, if I need to stick something in to refer back to, I can do that there. I don't usually use the timetable because I don't have very many things that happen on a real regular basis where it's the same every week. Favorites, I will probably put some work related, like websites, things like that I need. My 100 on my work planner is videos to make. If you have some that you want me to add to my list, I will put that on there. I like this sheet of the symbols and icons. This is a handy, I'm a very big note taker, and you know, having these little symbols can really help things. It's also this page about how to have fun keeping a diary is kind of fun too. That's more on a personal level than the work one, but still useful. This will be a place that I will actually put down some quotes. I'm a quote collector, so it probably won't even all fit on this page, but that'll get me started. 365 days, I hope to make art at least in some little bit each day. So that will just be coloring these in or marking those off. These tips on getting the most out of your Hobonichi are also, there's some useful things in this. So that's something you can go to the website using this code and look up useful things there. And then gifts, which in this case will be work related. Addresses, again work related. And then I will fill in my personal information just in case this would get lost, because that would be a little bit tragic if I lost track of this. So similarly, those back pages in my personal one, which I have not done yet, I'll have inspirational things here, maybe some photographs stuck in, and then going to those back pages here, my 100, I am hoping to be like cards that I've sent. I'm trying to send more cards to people. I'm not, I doubt that doing 100 is realistic for me, but I would like to see how far I get on that. So I think that would be a fun thing to do. Again, these notes, little symbols are fun. These keeping a diary tips are much more relevant to this one. Even though it's not exactly a diary, it's more like journaling. The quotes again here, my 100 or the 365 days here, I think is more like my morning page or Devo tracker. Again, I'll just see how far I get. I'm not going to beat myself up for not getting the 365, but it's still kind of nice to have goals. And gifts, I'll probably make much better use of that in the personal one. Addresses again are for personal and my personal information. So that's kind of how I'm planning on using those. These will be my 3 big workhorses that I really count on. And this one I think will be meaningful as well, to write in the events of the year. So looking forward to these, getting them further set up and making good use of them in 2025.